Today, let's break down what's called the outer arc swing path. First, during your backswing for a backspin ball, let's say the ball is here. If your right leg is lined up directly with the ball, you won't be able to create that outer arc in your swing. Trying to create that arc from this cramped position will cause you to miss the ball or just push it. So, the first key is this: your racket must be positioned outside your body during the backswing. For example, if the ball is at this point, your foot should be here, ensuring the ball is outside your right leg, for a right-hander. This is the only way to properly load your weight onto your right leg to enable body rotation and power generation. If your right leg is occupying the space where the ball is, you simply cannot execute a proper outer arc swing. By the time you think about creating an arc, the ball is already too close to your body, making it impossible to brush properly. Pay close attention to this. Always position the ball to the outside of your body. Never let it get inside your frame. When you feel about 70% of your weight loaded, that's your optimal contact point. You need this distance from your body to combine forces and generate power. The correct sequence is backswing close to the body, contact point far from the body, then follow through brings it back in close. You must bring your backswing behind your body. Think of your backswing position as being near your hip. Tuck it behind, drive forward through the ball, and after contact, wrap the follow-through towards your body. These are the three phases: tuck in, extend out, and accelerate back in. Tucking in prevents you from being jammed. Extending out allows you to actively meet the ball with force and friction. Accelerating back in increases the quality and speed of your shot. This entire motion constitutes the outer arc. Now, I'll demonstrate with a flexed, bent-up wrist. A flexed wrist can't create friction. You need a dropped wrist to brush the ball. But notice, even with a flexed wrist, I can still lift the ball over the net. My point is that even without friction from the wrist, the arm's outer arc motion itself is enough to lift the ball. Of course, you should never use a flexed wrist. It's a major technical flaw. Therefore, only by starting your backswing tucked behind your body can you swing around to the front of your body at contact. If your backswing goes straight back, any deep or fast ball, like a quick backspin serve or a long push, will jam you every time. So, when looping, the first step, point A, is to keep your elbow close to your body. Then, swing out towards point B. Point B is essentially your contact point. Upon making contact with the ball, accelerate your arm to point C, completing a perfect outer arc. However, if your swing is just a back-to-front motion, that is not an outer arc. No matter how far away from your body you are, simply pushing forward does not count as an outer arc. It must start close, extend far out for contact, and finish close again. Only this encompassing motion creates a true outer arc. For amateur players, I recommend contacting the backspin ball just after the peak of its bounce. I feel my loop has improved significantly recently, precisely because I've perfected this arc. Many players struggle to find the correct location for point B, so let's clarify that. Point B is where you meet the ball during your swing from point A. You should be accelerating towards point B. My loop isn't directed straight forward or upward. It's directed towards my front right, in the direction of the umpire. After making contact out in that direction and gripping the ball, I then accelerate my forearm in the follow-through. Many players mistakenly think the motion is purely back to front. A player with a poor forehand almost certainly lacks a proper outer arc. Your loop must have an outward path. It's an extension out, followed by a contraction in. Without the extension, the contraction has no power and produces a low-quality shot. You'll end up just lifting or pushing the ball over the net, which is ineffective. You absolutely must feel that sense of extension, that outward expansion in your stroke. So on an incoming ball, focus your arm's force toward your front right, and then accelerate. Watch my slow motion carefully. You can see the extension phase, which is immediately followed by the contraction phase. Topspin balls require an outer arc, and even a basic forehand drive has it. Every stroke has an outer arc. Your arm is not fully straight at contact. But you must have the extension phase. The arm remains slightly bent as you accelerate into the follow-through. If you can't create that extension, your inward acceleration is meaningless. If you watch professional players, both their forehand and backhand strokes utilize an outer arc. The purpose of the outer arc is to neutralize the opponent's spin, their trap, and impose your own arc and spin on the ball. A ping-pong ball is round. Without an outer arc, your motion becomes linear, forward-backward or up-down, which will never produce an explosive shot. Think of your arm as a whip. A whip generates power through an arc. The tip of the whip cracks by being swung in a wide arc. With an outer arc, you get a full, powerful trajectory. You can generate force and you won't be as affected by the incoming spin. This is why coaches always tell you to open up. They want you to extend outwards and then contract inwards, which is the definition of an outer arc. There should be no pushing motion. Anyone who generates force this way is guaranteed to be a weak player. So, point B is what amateur players must focus on. You need to build the framework and power generation for point B first. Both your forehand and backhand should focus on accelerating toward point B. Once you master accelerating to point B, you'll see that the motion from A to B naturally creates an arc, even without a full follow-through. This motion alone is enough to neutralize the spin, even on a heavy side underspin ball. Simply by starting at A and directing your force towards B, you have enough of a swing to lift the ball. This is the essential small arc you need to create. If you try to hit the ball with a direct, linear path, you'll have problems. This is why you're susceptible to spin, you're missing a crucial part of the swing. A backspin ball drops after the bounce. You should be meeting it at point A. But instead, you're trying to hit it at its spinniest point. Trying to lift the ball from there is not going to work. However, if you wait for the ball at point A and then accelerate towards point B, the arc is naturally created. Point C is what adds quality to the shot. It makes the ball more powerful and penetrating. The motion from B to C is not about both creating the arc and generating power. The A to B phase creates the parabola to clear the net. Think of it as A to B for lift, and B to C for acceleration. The two main errors in table tennis are hitting into the net and hitting long. The A to B relationship solves the net problem. The B to C relationship solves the power and control problem. Both are essential. Against topspin, your backswing doesn't need to be as low. But against backspin, you must lower your center of gravity and have a complete, loaded backswing. On a topspin ball, you can essentially swing directly from B to C with less risk of error. But can you do that on a backspin ball? If you try to swing from B to C, the result will always be hitting the net. To avoid the net, you'll compensate by lifting your arm up past point C, creating a weak, upward hitting motion. So, perfect point A, tuck your backswing behind your body. Perfect point B, drive forward and out to meet the ball. Perfect point C, accelerate and wrap your follow through. You see how explosive that shot was? But honestly, I wasn't using much physical effort. If you are just playing a high, spinny loop, you can afford to lift more. But if you want to hit a power loop, drive loop, you must use the A to B motion to brush the ball and clear the net, and then use the B to C motion to accelerate and add quality to the shot. Join our membership to unlock daily exclusive shorts, and discover the coach's secret tips and tricks on table tennis technique. You'll also get our weekly on-court coaching series. Silver members get even more and also unlock the exclusive weekly Coach's Corner series. Thank you for supporting the channel's growth.